Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of the audiobook Kick-Ass with Mel Robbins. Alright, so I came to get this audiobook from Mel Robbins because I randomly got an email from Audible saying that, they were giving me 2 free credits on Audible, and 1 credit equals to 1 book to try out Audible. And if you don't know what Audible is, it's basically an app that you can have on your desktop and on your phone where you can listen to audiobooks. I personally like audiobooks because I read, but I would much prefer listening to an audio or watching a video. So I'll admit they got me on the 2 free credits because I wanted to try it out, and I do like learning and digesting new types of content, whether it be on YouTube videos or audiobooks. So that's how I found this audiobook by Mel Robbins. Now, I actually know about Mel Robbins from way back when she first did her TED Talk that went viral on YouTube. She had this TED Talk talking about the 5-second rule. And if you haven't watched that or you don't know about Mel Robbins, I would highly recommend that you watch that first to get a feel for her personality and if you actually connect with her. Because what I'm going to say about audiobooks is you need to like listening to the person talking or narrating, because if you don't connect with them, then it's going to be hard to get through the book. Whereas if you're reading something, then, you're not listening to anything. It's kind of like maybe your own voice in your head while you read. So Mel Robbins has 2 exclusive audiobooks on Audible that are only available on there, and the first one that I listened to is Kick-Ass with Mel Robbins. Now, this is a different type of audiobook. It's not a standard type of generic audiobook where pretty much the author, just reads out the book. First off, it's narrated by Mel Robbins, which I like because sometimes you will get an audiobook by an author, but it's narrated by someone else. And I actually prefer that it's narrated by the author because you get a better feeling coming from the person who actually wrote it, in my opinion. So that's the first thing, is I like that it's narrated by Mel Robbins, and I like her personality, and I like the way she speaks. She speaks in a very real, raw manner, and you may like it, you may not. I do like her way of her personality and what she puts out into the audiobook. I mentioned that this audiobook is not like a typical audiobook because they are actually not live, but they're pre-recorded coaching sessions that she has with about 6 other people from, I believe, around the world, or at least from the United States. So before putting this book out, she put out a request asking people, to let her know what kind of challenges and issues they were having in their lives and what they'd like to get over, what they'd like to fix, what's holding them back in their lives. And so she put out that request, and she chose 6 people that she's never met before, 6 strangers, to come into her studio, and everything was recorded. So you have these 6 different people with different stories, problems, and they come into the studio with her. They're meeting her. You can hear them. They're meeting each other for the first time. And basically what happens is the person who comes to meet Mel, they state their issues and problems of what they think that they have in their life, and Mel does like a deep dive with them. So she's coaching them basically. It's almost like you're in the room and you're listening. You're in there while she's coaching this person. So the person will, state their problem or issue, and she'll often be like, okay, well, what happened? Why do you think that that's going on with you? And she'll really get into it with the person. Like, they really go into vivid detail about what happened to that person, why they're like that, and there's no fluff. There's no fluff in this book, and there is a bunch of swearing, whether it be from the person telling the story or Mel talking to the actual coaching client. And for me, it was really cool to listen to. It was very interesting, really fascinating. Some of the stories, some of the people's problems and stories I could relate to, and some I couldn't. But even though I couldn't relate to some of them, it was still really interesting to hear, what they had gone through and what's quote unquote holding them back in life. So since getting Audible, I've been listening to this everywhere. So I went through the actual audiobook pretty quickly. I was listening to it while I was in the shower, like put my phone on full volume. And I was listening to it while I was working out, while driving. Instead of listening to the radio, I had this playing while, I had to do like an hour drive in traffic. And even playing it like at night while I'm just laying down, I was so into it, like I would just listen to it before going to sleep. So I personally enjoyed it. I recommend it. But again, it all depends on if you vibe with the personality, the voice, listening. It really makes a difference, because I've heard samples of other audiobooks from other people where I didn't really connect with them, so I didn't get that audiobook. So what I would do is, if you don't know Mel Robbins at all, I would watch the TED Talk and I would listen to the audio sample, Kick Ass with Mel Robbins audiobook, so that you guys can get a feel for it before potentially getting it. And if you've never even done Audible before, they are offering 2 free audiobooks to try it out for free. Like, you can literally just get those 2 free audiobooks and cancel your membership. And if you guys want to check that out, the link will be in the description below. And even if you get those 2 audiobooks right away, you can literally cancel right away and you'll still have the audiobooks. So from reading the reviews, some people really love it and some people don't like it at all, because I think maybe they weren't expecting it to be like a coaching type session. So that's why I wanted to create this video and review for you guys, letting you know that if you were thinking about getting it, that's what you were getting into. Because you might be thinking like, oh, it's a narrated formal book, and then all of a sudden there's like conversing happening. Like there's people interacting in the, in the chapters in the audio. It's an actual coaching session where she's telling them, this is why you're like this is what's happening, here's how you can improve your life. So because I went through this one and finished it, I'm actually listening to her second exclusive audiobook on Audible. And I'll do a video review on that one as well. But that one is like more than 10 hours long. So this one right now is about 6 hours long, which is still a pretty good amount of listening time. But that one's over 10 hours. So I will also do a review video on that one as well. Alright guys, so that is my review of Kick Ass with Mel Robbins, the audiobook on Audible. Like I said, I highly recommend it, and if you do want to check it out, you can get 2 free audiobooks from the link down in the description below. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Back from the dead.